What you guys got another video on how to build your own Spotify personal music server step by step. Now we're going to be using this tiny Vim1S from CasaOS. Now this is a pretty affordable single board computer, as you can see right here. Comes with a little Wi-Fi antenna, couple of warranty cards here, and the actual board itself. Now you can purchase a case for this if you want it. And you can also get other attachments for this little device here. Now, I picked this up some time ago and I wanted to do something with it, and making my own music media server seemed a good way to go. There's some buttons here on the side, and there is all your inputs here for your USB, Type-C to power the device, HDMI, 1 gigabit Ethernet port, and also we have another USB slot, and also on the bottom we do have that micro SD card slot here. So this is what we're going to be using for this particular project. You can see it does have the Amlogic S905X, and that is 1.5 gigahertz 64-bit quad-core ARM Cortex A53 SoC. It has the Mali 450 GPU on there as well, HDMI 2.0. It only has 2 gigabytes of DDR3 memory installed on this system, built into the actual board itself. And we also have 16 gigabytes of eMMC storage on here. So we have built-in Wi-Fi as well, and Bluetooth 4.2. It has multi-OS support, which means you can install a variety of different OSs on this particular device. It uses their own unique UWL type of installer, which allows you to choose it and download and install it. You can use it as a nano server, computer cluster, mini computer, TV box, and many more different things. There's all the actual full specifications right there on the screen, so you can take a look at it at your own leisure. These are pretty affordable to pick up for projects like this, and you can install what OS you want for your particular project. For this project, this will be ideal for a music streaming server around your home. And I'm going to be using Ubuntu server on here, but there's many different other operating systems you can use for this particular device. Now, this is not the most powerful single board computer in the world, but it will do for what we need it to do here. And what I'm going to do is I've already took the liberty of setting up Ubuntu server on here, using their easy to set up and install operating system. It basically just boots up to UWL, I think it's called, and you choose whatever ISO you want to download and install onto the system. So I've chosen Ubuntu server, and here we are up to the login screen here. So all you need to do right here is basically press enter on the keyboard and then sign in. And it's always advisable to change the username and password, because this is the default username and password that the CasaOS board uses. So you can change this once you get signed in like this. Now I'm going to head over to the computer and use SSH to sign in from there. For some reason the IP address has not been displayed on the screen here. So what I'm going to do is quickly find the device IP address. So I'm going to type in here IP space ADDR. And this will give us the IP address of this device. And if we open this up right here, you can now see we have the IP address listed there on the screen. And you can see it's 192.168.1.158. So now let's head over to the computer. And what we're going to do is use SSH to sign in to that device from this computer here. So I'm going to open up the Windows PowerShell with admin rights right here, and it should look something like this. But I've got a warning remove host, and that's because I've used this device before, so I need to remove this and reset it all. And for that we can just do a quick simple command here, SSH-keygen and then space -R and then space and then the IP address of that device. And what this will do is reset and clear all of those codes, so we can then reset it and sign back in. So let me go ahead and do that, and you can see it found 3 of them on there. So we're going to clear those, and now we should be able to type in our SSH command to sign into our device from this computer and work from here. And that way we can use copy and paste if we want to use code off the internet and just use it like that. So let me go ahead and do this here, SSH space Chandas, which is the username of this board and the IP address. And it's now asking us, do we want to continue? So I'm going to say yes. And now it's done what we need it to do. Now we need to put the password in for this particular board. And there we are. We're now logged in via SSH on this computer to that headless device over on the table there. So now we can go ahead and set this up to whatever we like. Now, there's quite a few things you can do here. But the first thing you should be doing is updating and upgrading your device, because the actual image is quite outdated. So we need to make sure it's updated to the latest versions and security updates. So I'm going to do sudo space apt-get space update and the two and signs here, and do sudo apt-get upgrade. And we'll do those right there and push enter, and that will go off and get the latest updates and upgrades for this device. And that will take a bit of time, so I'll speed this process up because there was quite a lot of updates. It's important that you run these latest updates, especially if the image that you've used is quite outdated. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now quickly restarted the server, and now we're back up and running. Now we need to choose which music streaming solution we're going to use. This is a really good option right here. It's got plenty of features. It's feature rich with loads of different things you can use. It is open source, of course. And again, it's based on Linux. So what we'll do is we will go ahead and maybe choose this option right here. But there is some other options. It does give you all of the code and stuff that you can use to set it up on your device. And there's a few options that we can use as well. And I'll take you through those ones. This is another one that you can use. This is probably the one I'm going to go for here for this particular project. And you can see this is very low resources that it needs. One core processor, 512 megabytes of RAM. So it doesn't use a lot of system resources, which is ideal for this little single board computer. Now, there is actually some good tutorials online which allow you to basically copy and paste the code if you want to go down this route and set up Docker and the actual player as well. You can do if you want to, and all you need to do is copy and paste all the code here and paste it into your terminal here if you wanted to do that. I'm going to go down and get CasaOS installed on here, because we can go through CasaOS and install it via that method. And that might be an easy option for people that aren't quite familiar with all of that code and pasting all that code in. So this might be an easier option for you. So I'm going to go down this route and do that. I've pasted in the code there, as you can see, and we're going to get that downloaded and installed on our server. And now we can just copy and paste the next bit of code here that we're going to need to basically get CasaOS downloaded and installed. And this is it right here. Very simple and easy to set up. Now, I'm not too sure whether CasaOS is going to be a bit much for this little device, but we'll soon find out. I can always reset it. And it gives me the OK and says everything is running perfectly fine and we should be fine to install this on this device. So let's go ahead and continue with the installation. You can see it's going to take a bit of time to pull these files down and get them installed on that little device. So I'm going to speed this process up and let that go ahead and do it, and we can then move on to the next stage, which is setting up an account. That's now all installed. As you can see, there is our IP address for CasaOS, and we also have an uninstall command there. If it's too much for this little system, I can always uninstall it and move on to another option. So I'm going to go ahead and type in the IP. And there we are at the CasaOS welcome screen. All I need to do here now is put in my username and a password of my choice. And again, this has to be different to your server IP that we set up on Ubuntu. So we want to set up something different here. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a username, and you can use whatever you want on your setup. So let me go ahead and put the password in here. Make sure it's a strong password. And we're going to go ahead and put the confirm password inside here as well. And then we can click create. And this will gain us access to our CasaOS account. So let's go ahead and do that. It says we're all good and we're ready to go. I can just cancel this one right here because this is for the blog. Not interested in that. And there we go. And it will take a little bit of time to settle, but it seems to be okay on this device. Now we only have 2 gigabytes of RAM on this little board. So it is using 25% at the moment. And we've got some apps inside here. And what we can do is go down and look for our music app. And I'm pretty sure that we can install a music app from here for streaming. And there it is right there. So all I need to do right now is click on install, and that should install this into its own Docker container inside CasaOS, and it saves you going through and typing out all of them commands. And this should be up and running. Now you will need to customize it and set it up for your particular drive. If you've got a drive with your music in there, then obviously you would need to set the path for that music, and it will then recognize it and be able to set up your library for you. So we're just going to let that finish installing, and there we go. So now we're done. So there it is right here. So all you need to do here is you can click on the 3 dots here, go to settings, and from here you would come down to where it says volumes, and you would add your own volume, and this will be the location of your music. So make sure you put the path for your host for your music and the container where your music is stored. It's that simple, and I'm not going to go through that part here, but there it is right there. Because of copyright reasons, I don't want to go down that route. But if you've got your own music, you can rip your own music from your CDs. You're allowed to do that and store them on your computer. That is something you're allowed to do, which is what I've done. So from here, you can see the location of the drive, and you can see there is some folders on here, and you would then obviously use your music, which is inside here, and you could use this to basically get the path like so for that particular bit of music, and then basically put that into your media streaming software. And there's a little icon on there we can make it share, and you can see once you set this up, it's going to start setting that up for you. Once you've got that done, let's go ahead and we can now click on our application, and it will open up, and now you can create an account. So let's go ahead and you can put in your username and password for your media streaming device. And this is it right here. I'm going to go ahead and just put admin in and put in a password of my choice. And once this is done, you can create an account and you can sign in for the first time. And once that's done, it will start showing up all of your actual music, and then you can get all of the album art for those music here, and it will start to scrape, and it will take a bit of time to scrape that. So be patient. If you've got a lot of music, it will take a bit of time. I'm not going to go through that in this video for reasons, and you can see right here, you can go up to your libraries and you would obviously see it listed right here, or you can put in and click on create and put in the path and the name of the folder. This will be either on your network share, or it'll be on an external drive, and you could put in the path for that. And basically it will then go off and scrape the internet for the album art for those covers for those albums that you put in, or music. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward and simple to do. And you would then be able to stream this all over your home, on your mobile phone, and also on your PC. It's that simple. Now, people in the comments yesterday on yesterday's video were getting a little bit excited. You mentioned Linux and people get a little bit sensitive. And it's funny how when I make content about Linux, the Linux community just doesn't watch it. And the reason why is because all they're interested in is drama. Windows drama, slating Windows, and comments. That's all they do. And unfortunately, it's quite sad, because this particular video would be very useful for people to learn stuff about how to set up a media streaming system on your home, on your network. And of course, they're not interested in that sort of content. They're just interested in drama, and that's why they probably won't watch it. And that's probably why you're seeing a lot of Linux channels making content about the disaster of Windows, the downfall of Microsoft, because they get a lot more views on that sort of content than they do on their own Linux stuff. And it seems it's okay for those people to create content about Windows and trash it, but as soon as you say anything negative about Linux in your video, you'll get attacked and it's not acceptable. And you'll get that reaction in the comments section, which is absolutely ridiculous. It really is. Anyway, but this is a project that I set up and it is Linux based. And let's see how many views it gets. I'm guessing 3,000 max. So yesterday's video was clickbaity in a sense, but it was a reaction to what is actually happening on YouTube right now. And of course, you can see by the views on yesterday's video that that is what gains traction, which is very sad. Anyway, my name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Big shout out to my YouTube members. I appreciate the support. I shall catch you on the Discord server, or I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.